Thanks to Epson for sponsoring this video. When it comes to entertainment, I think it's everyone's dream to have the biggest, best display you can have. But if you're going like the traditional TV route, that gets expensive very fast, like really fast. But there's a better way to do it. And that's where the EpiqVision Mini EF12 Smart Streaming Laser Projector comes in. That's a long name, but it's packing a punch. So the debate between projectors and TVs has gone on for a long time. And on one end, on the TV side, you have, very vibrant and bright colors because it's actually emitting light from the TV itself. And on the projector side, oftentimes you would maybe not have that good of colors, but you get a really big screen because it's being projected instead of having to be a full panel. But over the last few years, that has kind of changed. On the TV side, well, you can get really big TVs, but again, they get really expensive. But on the projector side, it's kind of been opposite. You still get those really big sizes, but the brightness has been improved, the saturation and black levels has been drastically improved, and the size and price has been reduced. So you almost get the best of both worlds. And I think that's where the EpiqVision EF12 really shines. And especially in times like this, where you really want to have a great home theater experience. Whether you want to watch these college games during the month of March, or you just want to watch your favorite streaming channels, all of that can be done here. And it's a really full-featured package. Okay, so what is this actual projector? Well, it's a small cube that has everything you need built in. So that means you can stream directly from it, it has speakers built in, and it of course has the laser projector. So it's all in one system, and this is all you need. It's pretty compact and you can actually take it with you if you want. But really, the main thing here is that it's all in one and really easy to set up and use. So up top, you've really got all the buttons you need to use this projector. You can control the power, you can control the volume, all from right here on top. Although it does come with a remote, which I'll talk about in a second. And then on the side, even though everything is all in one, you do have options for inputs. So you have your HDMI, you have headphone jack. So you could plug in really anything you wanted, like a gaming console or a separate streaming box. And then I think one of the best parts of the hardware is the built-in Yamaha speakers. These are very high quality. I was honestly not expecting much from these speakers because, they're built-in speakers. How good can they be? The audio doesn't really translate over video, but the best way I can explain it is it sounds like a really nice home speaker that you would use for like smart assistants and things like that you would listen to music through. It is actually completely adequate and sounds quite good. Now, of course, it's not going to replace an entire surround sound system, but again, focusing on the all-in-one functionality, this is more than adequate. But all that aside, what's really important here is the picture quality and how it looks, because when you get to projectors this small, there's always a question of whether or not it's going to look good or not, and whether or not it's going to be bright or not, especially with projectors. That's always an issue. But happy to report that this one exceeds in pretty much every area. Now, this is only a full HD projector, it's not 4K, but because it uses a laser light source, that micro laser array actually gives you some really bright colors and really dark blacks. That's always an issue with the picture of these projectors. You flip on a light or you have some ambient light in the room and it just destroys what you're looking at because it gets faded and washed out. And very much to my surprise, that doesn't happen here. And this picture can be projected up to 150 inches, which for a projector this small, it's actually pretty impressive. And when you do go to that size, you don't really lose much of the brightness and contrast that you would get if it was closer up in a smaller size. So you kind of get that flexibility. You can have it close up and have something really bright, or you can still have that brightness but have a really big image. Now, going back to that all-in-one functionality, one of my favorite things about this is how it auto adjusts itself so you get a square, straight picture. Back in the day, that was always one of my frustrations with projectors, is that when you set them up, they have to be perfectly aligned. Otherwise, it's going to look a little wonky, and then you have to go into settings and manually adjust everything, and it's just a pain. That is not necessary here. So it actually has auto keystone and auto focus functionality. So as soon as it detects any movement or you set it up for the first time, it will go into a calibration mode. So it'll show these little green dots, it'll auto focus, and it just adjusts itself. So if you are off kilter a little bit and it's not perfectly level, it will adjust itself, and you can actually see where it's making those adjustments on the edge. It does this digitally instead of optically, but I didn't notice any degradation or anything like that. It still looks great, and you don't have to do anything. It just does it for you. Now, if you did want to redo this calibration manually, there's a button on the projector itself, or you can use the controller, which is another one of my favorite things about this because it's actually kind of functional. And the controller is kind of important because, again, all in one, this is running Android TV, so you don't need to plug in like a streaming box or a gaming console or anything like that. It's all built in. So this controller is actually something you'll probably be using, and it's laid out pretty well. You've got a YouTube button up top, you can control the power and all the volume and everything like that like you'd expect. But at the bottom, you have all your settings for that auto keystone and autofocus. So you can just run that calibration right from the remote if you think something looks a little off. But because it is Android TV, you also get a Google Assistant button here, so you can ask any question you want. Again, it's running Android TV, so it works as if it was running on any other system, and I really like that. Plus, not only can you watch your favorite games, but you can watch any of the popular streaming services out there. They're built right in, you can download them and just get going. Again, everything built right in. But really what you're getting with this is something that you can set up quickly and use immediately. There's no real setup required. You just log into your account and you're ready to watch. And that's really what I've come to appreciate with projectors like this. The technology has grown so much in the last few years that they really are taking a lot of the light away from your traditional TV set because of the functionality and just the better flexibility that you get with something like this. So if the EpiqVision Mini EF12 is something you want to check out, maybe pick up for yourself, check out the link down in the description. You can go ahead and pick it up and start watching. But anyway, I'm glad to have a projector back in my life. It's been a while since I've really used one, and I'm impressed how far they've come.